welcome back to another Meals of the Week. This week I'm going to give you more family meal ideas and also round the week off with a sticky toffee pudding, which I think would be a perfect Valentine's date night idea. So hopefully you enjoy that as well. But let's get cracking and I'll show you what all we ate this week for my family of 7. So for the first meal I'm just browning off some fillets of chicken with sliced pepper and onions, and this is going to make Diet Coke chicken, which is a Slimming World recipe, so I will link it down below. And I've added in my passata, or you can go for tinned tomatoes. Add in your Diet Coke and any of your stock along with your seasoning, and it's really one of those one pot dishes. So 10 minutes before I'm going to serve, I add in any of my crunchy vegetables, which happens to be sugar snap peas and little corn, and then I am serving it with oven chips that I've made just with a little bit of spray oil. Equally, it's lovely with baked potato. This is very filling, so if you're on a diet and struggling, it's a good one to do because you can do everything in one pot and bulk it up. Next evening I'm using a pound of sausages, a tin of beans, we've got onions, garlic, some chopped parsley. I will make up some stock, and we've got bacon. We're going to use the slow cooker tonight for sausage cassoulet. I think I maybe said cassoulet in my grocery haul, but never mind. So I'm browning off some bacon with onions. I've went for unsmoked because I don't want it too salty, and then I add in the sausages, and basically all we're going to do is colour the meat and the veg. I tend to do this with most dishes. I do definitely think the slow cooking really changes the texture of meat, so I do use it when I just really need something convenient. And then I add everything into the slow cooker, adding in the beef stock. You could double up in this. We mainly want it just for the beans, but if you want more gravy, like, double up the combination of beans and stock. Then I add in some fresh parsley, and as usual with the slow cooker, all you've got to do is give it a good wee mix. I put it on medium for about 20 minutes to half an hour while I'm still around. Then when I pop out, I leave it for a good 5 to 6 hours until you can see everything has really softened down and coloured. I've just got the mashed potatoes going there, so a simple dinner and some veg. And yeah, I'm not a big one for slow cooker meals, but sometimes it calls for them. So the boys are having it with a rasher of bacon, their carrots and peas, and a mountain of mash, and yeah, everybody else as well. It's definitely a good wee one to try. I will link it down below. I do think it's nice to add some of those pulses in as well. Next evening, Alistair's actually cooking, so it is 2 fillet steaks. He's sauteing down vegetables, and we've got little cubed garlic potatoes as well. When he's cooking, it always turns out delicious, but I try not to look if he's using oil and butter. But also, he has given us man portions, but I'm not complaining. So we have the fillet steaks. I like to have them well done on the outside, but medium inside, so nice and charred. Pepper sauce, some rocket with crunchy onions, sauteed veg all down, and I have a few tomatoes with pepper sauce as well. Next evening I am using chorizo up. I've got some garlic. We're using up some peppers that I have. Ideally do use red peppers in this. Chilies, paprika. I've made up some stock there. We've got some orzo. That will bulk up the soup, and for convenience some chopped onions and a tin of chopped tomatoes as well. And this is going to make a chorizo and roasted pepper soup. So all I've done is chopped up all the peppers and drizzles it with a little bit of oil. It's going into the oven. Meanwhile I'm browning the onions with garlic and some chilli, adding in that tin of tomatoes and again that stock. At first I just add enough of the stock so that I can get it simmering, but I will add more liquid later on. So for about 15 minutes I let that boil away. Meanwhile the chorizo was cooking separately. I add that in at the very end. Once the roasted peppers are done, you can peel away the skin if you want. I actually really like to keep it. I think it adds a good flavour, and I will be liquidising it down anyways. But yeah, if you want you can remove it. So I just basically liquidise it down, or you can put it in your processor. Now I want to add more of my stock in. I'll have a good taste for flavouring as well, adding a little bit more chilli, but bearing in mind this is for the children, so not as hot as I would like it. And then we're just putting the lid on it and leaving it until it's ready to serve. 10 minutes before serving time I add in the orzo. I've used about just 300 grams. This will swell up and absorb some of the liquid, but it's definitely a great way of bulking out your soup. And so we're all plated up and we are serving it with some crusty white loaf and I've just topped the soup with the chorizo now. And you can drain the oil from a chorizo, but it does give it a lovely flavour. The kids love having their soup in these little bowls and also on the board, so I've layered up some crackers for dipping in as well. And with that orzo pesto, it definitely bulks the soup up and makes it more of a dinner. And then next up for pudding, we're gonna use muscovado sugar, self-raising flour, milk, vanilla essence, some dates which have the stone removed, an egg and butter, and make a sticky toffee pudding sponge. But I'm keeping it slightly lighter, so we're doing the separate dry with the wet mix. So I've got my sugar and my flour, and then I've got my milk, egg and butter mix, and we're just going to mix it through with a slotted spoon. So you don't want to over whisk it, you want to make sure that you keep the air in it until you've got a nice dropping consistency like so. Then we add in all those chopped dates. This is what will make it really rich and keep that moisture inside. And give it a mix through, add it into a dish. I'm using a Yorkshire pudding one so that you can portion it up in the oven, and then onto the coffee toffee sauce, which is lovely. So with this one, I'm just making it with cream with my muscovado sugar into it, mixing it through, bringing it up to the heat, adding in that butter and letting it slowly melt. Make sure to just keep whisking at it. Then a tablespoon of treacle, tablespoon of golden syrup. You can alter that to the type of depth and taste you like for your sauce to be. And this is beautiful. Milkshakes, martinis, coffees, everything that you fancy. And then for the children, I've split one of the sponges, added in their ice cream and drizzled that coffee sauce. And you know, you can do as much as you want. With us, we went a bit more decadent and we have drizzled lots of it on top of our puddings. We're serving it with some vanilla ice cream, and also we've got a little bit of single cream, but equally it's beautiful with custard. And I told my husband to cut these open, but he's obviously going a little bit slow like it's a Marks and Spencer's ad, but never mind. These were absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed the video this week. If so, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, make sure to hit subscribe.